VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. A major fire has broken out at the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in central Paris, causing huge damage to the 12th century building. AP correspondent Angela Charlton reports the French President Emmanuel Macron summed up people's feelings by saying the fire consuming the cathedral is like a part of us being on fire.
It's unclear what's happening inside the building. It is a huge cathedral. There are a lot of relics and other important artworks inside. Officials say they're working to protect those artworks, but it's unclear if anything has already been damaged.
It is also not clear what caused the fire or if anyone has been hurt, but firefighters now say they have saved the building's two iconic towers. The U.S. Justice Department says it will release on Thursday a redacted version of the nearly 400-page report of special counsel Robert Mueller on Russian meddling in the 2016 U.S. election. That interference aimed at helping Donald Trump win the presidency. Trump claimed again on Monday that he has already been exonerated of wrongdoing linked to the election, even as he and the American public await details of Mueller's 22-month-long investigation. The U.S. leader on Twitter said Mueller and the Attorney General William Barr, based on Mueller's findings, have already ruled no collusion, no obstruction. Canada is imposing more sanctions on the government of Venezuelan President Nicholás Maduro, who it blames for the country's deteriorating political and economic situation. Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland on Monday announced sanctions against 43 high-ranking Venezuelan officials, including regional governors. It said they were implicated in the undermining of democratic institutions. This is VOA News. Demonstrators in Sudan's capital are defying attempts by the military to break up their ongoing protest. Correspondent Naba Mohideen reports for VOA from Khartoum.
Protesters on Monday said troops tried to clear their ongoing sit-in outside army headquarters in Khartoum. But the protesters, who have camped out since the military announced the removal of longtime President Omar al-Bashir last Thursday, refused to move. The protesters are demanding a quicker move to civilian rule in Sudan than the military's announced two-year transition to an elected government. The military's transitional leadership has changed twice since it said Bashir had been placed under house arrest following 4 months of popular demonstrations. Naba Muhyiddin for VOA News, Khartoum.
An independent monitoring group in Pakistan is saying it's concerned about the state of human rights in the country. It released a report on Monday. VOA correspondent Aisha Tanzim reports from Islamabad.
The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan expressed concern over what it said were massive violations of human rights in Pakistan last year. The HRCP Secretary General Haris Khaliq said the report offered an opportunity to focus on the real issues.
I think it is very useful for within the country, for policymakers to actually see where the real issues are. And Pakistan is also signatory to international covenants and protocols and conventions. And so it is important that this is all monitored, that whether we are living up to the promises, the commitments that we have made to larger humanity.
More than 30 journalists and publishers faced charges Monday over the reporting in Australia on Cardinal George Pell's trial for child sex abuse. Prosecutors are seeking fines and jail terms over accusations that the news outlets breached strict suppression orders in the case. Experts, however, say the reporting ban raises issues about freedom of the press. Correspondent Phil Mercer reports for VOA from Sydney.
Several Australian agencies are accused of breaching the ban by reporting cryptically that an unnamed high-profile person had been found guilty of a serious crime that couldn't be made public. Experts say Australian reporting restrictions were futile in the global digital age. Some of Australia's biggest media companies are among those facing contempt allegations. Most intend to vigorously fight the charges.
Top story of the hour, major fire has broken out at the famed Notre Dame Cathedral in central Paris. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world, around the clock, at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News.